Did you know that after the age of 50, there is something that could literally be decreasing the size of your penis, and that most men don't even suspect? Well, it seems absurd at first glance, but what I'm going to tell you now is not an assumption, nor a myth, nor a story to scare you. It's real, it's physiological, and it's happening to thousands of men every day. Men who, without realizing it, are allowing a set of silent and avoidable factors to reduce not only the apparent size of their penis, but also their potency, their self-confidence, and even their identity as a man. This information is urgent because it affects something much bigger than the physical part. What is at stake here is your virility, your self-esteem, your pleasure, your connection with your own body, and often, even with your partner. And the most frightening thing is that this process does not give any noisy signals. It happens slowly. It will gradually settle in. You wake up one day and think, "Strange, it seems different," but you think it's just an impression. I think it's age. And he continues to ignore it. And the more you ignore it, the more the problem progresses. And no, this doesn't have to do with a serious illness, bad genetics, or something that only happens to others. It has to do with lifestyle, with habits, with carelessness that you may be making without even realizing it. And when these habits accumulate, the body responds, and he responds exactly where it hurts most, in the symbol of his masculinity. Now pay attention. The penis doesn't shrink out of nowhere. It doesn't disappear overnight. What happens is a gradual process which involves from decreased blood flow in the pelvic region to the accumulation of fat in the lower abdomen, which literally swallows part of the penile base, making the member appear smaller. And if you're over 50, this could be happening to you right now without you even realizing it. And there's more. With the natural drop in testosterone levels, which is common after 40 but intensifies after 50, the body begins to lose muscle mass, accumulate more fat, and reduce the frequency of spontaneous erections, especially morning ones. Circulation slows down, penile tissues receive less oxygen, and this directly impacts the firmness of erections and the health of the region as a whole. In other words, what appears to be just an aesthetic change is actually alerts you about your hormonal, vascular, and metabolic health. The good news: you can reverse this process. You can recover penile vitality, restore blood flow, stimulate the natural production of testosterone, and most importantly, regain control of your intimate health. But this requires attitude, awareness, and above all, information. And that's exactly why I'm here. Why no one talks about it clearly. Nobody teaches you what you need to know to protect your virility after 50, and you deserve to know. So stay with me until the end of this video, because I'm going to show you, step by step, what's behind this silent process that is shrinking your penis, and what you can do today to start reversing this naturally, with simple, practical, but powerful actions. And before we continue, comment on the sentence below. I want to understand what is happening to my body, because it shows that you are no longer a man who will live on autopilot. You want clarity. You want to really take care of your health. Now get ready, because from now on we are going to delve deeper into this truth that no one had the courage to tell you. And now that you understand how serious, urgent, and to the point this issue is, it's impossible to continue pretending that it doesn't affect you. Because what's at stake here isn't just aesthetics or vanity. It's your real health, your energy, your self-confidence, the way you relate to your own body and to those around you. If you are over 50, this video is more than a warning. It is an invitation to take back control of your virility before time, and bad habits make the damage more difficult to reverse. And if you're here until now, it's because it touched you. It made you think. This may have reminded you of something you've been feeling but haven't yet had the courage or clarity to face head-on. And that's why I want to make a sincere request to you. Comment below the phrase, "I will not ignore my body." Write this now, in the comments. Because this comment isn't just to move the channel. It's a commitment you make to yourself. A commitment to no longer live on automatic. A commitment to pay attention to the signs your body is giving you. A commitment to say, no more leaving it for later. And if this content woke you up, leave your like now. This simple gesture makes all the difference for me and for this community that is growing here, of men who are not afraid to talk about male health, prostate, testosterone, sexual potency, and everything that for a long time was hidden behind shame or ignorance. Your like helps this video reach more men who, like you, are seeking truth, clarity, and direction. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, now is the time. Sign up, activate the bell, Because every week there is a new video about this masculine universe that no one teaches you, but that you need to understand if you want to grow old healthily, with dignity and with power. Here you will learn, strengthen yourself, and prepare to live the coming years with much more control over your intimate and emotional health. And more. Share this video with that friend, brother, or relative who you know is going through this and still doesn't have the courage to talk. Maybe this is the video he needed to see to wake up. Now stay with me, because in the next section I will show you exactly what are the real factors that are making your penis look smaller after 50, why this is not just a visual issue, and how it directly affects your erection, your self-esteem, and your performance. What you will understand below can completely change the way you see your body and can give you the path to change the game today. Stay with me. Let's continue. Penile shrinkage is one of those topics that many men avoid talking about, but which, deep down, is deeply uncomfortable. It is something that affects identity, self-esteem, the feeling of power, and the way a man sees himself and others. And here's a truth that no one speaks openly. Yes, the penis can appear smaller over time, and this is not just a visual impression. There are real physiological causes behind this process, and understanding this clearly is the first step to preventing it from continuing to happen, or even reversing the situation. It all starts with blood flow. The penis, unlike other organs, is not made of muscles that you can train in the gym, but it directly depends on the quality of circulation. What does this mean in practice? It means that over the years, if you do not stimulate your cardiovascular system frequently, through physical activity, adequate nutrition, and conscious breathing, the blood begins to circulate less forcefully in the pelvic region. The arteries that supply the penis and the corpora cavernosa lose elasticity. As a result, the volume of blood that arrives during an erection decreases, and when this happens, erections become weaker, less rigid, and the length of the penis, especially in an erect state, may appear shorter. This is not myth, it is pure science. The penis needs oxygen. It needs strong and constant circulation to maintain its shape, function, and vitality, but it doesn't stop there. Another extremely common and neglected factor is the accumulation of abdominal fat, and we're not just talking about aesthetics here. When fat accumulates in the lower belly area, especially in the pubic area, it begins to push the entire structure of the abdomen forward and downward. This compression literally covers part of the penis base, making the penis appear smaller, as if it had been swallowed by its own fat. This is more common than you might think and happens mainly to men who are over 40 or 50 years old, have reduced the frequency of physical activities, increased their caloric intake, and started to accumulate visceral fat, the one that is inside the belly, between the organs. And this fat, in addition to hiding part of the penis, also interferes with hormonal production, which leads to another important factor that contributes to penile shortening: the natural drop in testosterone. Testosterone is the main male hormone, responsible not only for sexual desire, but also for maintaining muscle mass, bone density, disposition, reasoning, and of course, erectile function. As a man ages, testosterone levels naturally fall, and if he doesn't do anything to keep production active, be it with good habits, good nutrition, correct supplementation, and physical stimulation, the body begins to enter a state of lethargy. Without testosterone at adequate levels, the body's muscles weaken, metabolism slows down, sexual desire decreases, and penile circulation is compromised. The penis, as a consequence, tends to lose volume, rigidity, and length, especially in a state of erection. And here comes a crucial point that almost no one talks about: sedentary lifestyle and lack of muscle stimulation in the perineum region. This is the region that supports the penile base, the pelvic floor muscles, which play a fundamental role in both the strength of the erection and the control of ejaculation. When you spend years without activating this muscle, whether by not exercising, sitting for a long time, or neglecting your sexuality, it atrophies. And when this muscular base weakens, penis support also decreases. The result is a limb with less support, less stiffness, and yes, less functional length. The muscle, when not stimulated, shrinks. And this also applies to the region that supports your penis. All of this together creates a worrying scenario for men who are over 50 and think it is normal to have a declining virility. It's not normal. It's common, but it's not natural. It is natural for men to age with awareness, with movement, with energy. What is unnatural is accepting weakening as destiny, and you don't have to accept that. You can change this picture. You can understand that your penis didn't shrink by magic, but because there were a series of silent factors that accumulated, and which now, if you choose to act, can be reversed with attitude and strategy. But before I show you how you can do this, I want you to reflect on what has been said so far. Does it make sense to you? Have you noticed these changes in your body? Do you think your penis is different, smaller, less firm, with less power than years ago? Have you noticed that even though it is flaccid, it seems more withdrawn? That the erection is no longer what it used to be? All of this has an explanation. And the best part? There is a solution. If at any point in this video you identified with what I said, comment below on the phrase, "I perceive the change, and I want to react." This comment is a statement. It's a way for you to show that you're not just here passively watching. You are present, you are aware, and more than that, you are determined to do something for yourself. And of course, if this content has made sense to you so far, leave your like. This helps me to continue bringing truths like this that almost no one has the courage to say. And subscribe to the channel, because here you will learn everything you need to know about prostate health, sexual potency, hormones, erections, male habits, and how to live with more energy, more control, and more pleasure after 50. And hold on, because in the next section I will show you the clearest signs that this shrinkage could already be happening to you, and you may not have even realized it yet. Pay attention, because what comes now will help you identify with precision the first signs that your body is asking for help. Let's move forward together. And now that you understand why this silent process may be happening to you, it's time to face the problems head-on. Clearer signs that your body has already started to react to these factors and is giving the first warnings. And the most curious thing, and at the same time worrying, is that most men notice something different, but prefer to believe that it is just a phase, that it is an age thing, or worse, that it is normal and that there is nothing that can be done. This type of thinking is what makes so many men reach a point where recovery becomes much more difficult, precisely because they ignored the first signs. So now I want you to look carefully and sincerely at your own body and see if any of these symptoms are already present in your routine. The first sign, which usually appears gradually, is the erection weaker and with less volume. What does this mean? It means that even in moments when desire appears, the quality of the erection is no longer the same. The penis even hardens, but not with that strength, with that rigidity, with that vigor that you knew. And this change doesn't come overnight. She drags on. Today it's 10% weaker, tomorrow 20%, until the moment you simply start to accept that this is how it is and start to live with this new standard, as if it were definitive, only it isn't. A weaker erection is the body saying, "Hey, there's something wrong with your circulation, your muscles, your hormones, your habits." Then comes the feeling that the penis is smaller, even in a flaccid state. Yes, you look at it in the mirror while showering or urinating, and you get the distinct impression that it has shrunk, that the size is no longer the same. And do you know what most men do? Ignore it, makes fun, pretend you don't care. But inside, you feel the impact. And this emotional impact also affects performance, desire, self-confidence. The penis appears retracted, without volume, as if it had shrunk inwards. And often, this perception is not an illusion. What's behind this is reduced blood flow, the accumulation of abdominal fat compressing the penile base, sagging of the perineum, and a drop in testosterone. In other words, a physiological scenario that, if not treated, only gets worse over time. Another important sign, which many men have already noticed but pretend not to have noticed, is the decreased frequency of morning erections. You know that moment when you wake up, when your penis is naturally erect, even without stimulation? So it is. This is a direct reflection of your hormonal health, your circulation, and your level of vitality. If these erections are disappearing, or are weaker, faster, or even non-existent, this is one of the clearest signs that your body is having difficulty maintaining blood flow to the genital region at night, a time when it should be self-regulating. Morning erection is, in fact, a thermometer of your intimate health. When it disappears, it's time to turn on the alert. And if you've ever noticed that your penis, in addition to appearing smaller and less rigid, is also less sensitivity and pleasure during sex or masturbation, then you have another strong indication that the weakening process has already begun. Reduced sensitivity occurs for several reasons: reduced blood supply, atrophy of the peripheral nerves in the penile region, lack of muscle stimulation, excessive use of pornography, and of course the drop in testosterone itself. And this all directly impacts pleasure. The touch is no longer the same. The orgasm is weaker. The feeling seems distant. The body responds more slowly, and the mind begins to distrust itself. And it all becomes a cycle. You feel less, you get less excited, you perform less, you feel guilty, you withdraw, and the situation gets even worse. And the worst thing of all is that, instead of seeking help or adjusting their habits, many men start making excuses. They say they are tired, that the problem is stress, that it is work, that it is age. They keep postponing the truth, pretend it's not happening, but deep down, they know something has changed, and that something, if it continues to be ignored, will cost you dearly. It will cost your sexual energy, your potency, your confidence as a man, and even your relationships. It is at this point that I reinforce the importance of awareness. Because when you understand that the body speaks, that these signals are precious warnings, you start to change the game. You go from being a hostage of your own decadence to being the protagonist of your own regeneration. And that, my brother, is true masculine power. It's not denying the fall, but having the courage to face it and act before it becomes permanent. So now I invite you to reflect honestly. Have you noticed any of these changes in your body? Have you ever felt your erection weaker, your penis appearing smaller, less pleasure, less firmness, fewer spontaneous erections? Have you ever found yourself avoiding certain situations for fear of not being able to handle it? If the answer is yes to any of these questions, comment below on the phrase, "I recognize the signs." This shows that you are paying attention, that you will no longer pretend that everything is fine, that you are ready to act. The good news you need to hear now is, yes, it is totally possible to reverse this process of loss of volume, strength, and penile sensitivity. But it requires attitude, constancy, and awareness. Nothing will change if you continue with the same habits that brought you here. And no, it is not with a miracle formula, nor with misleading promises of results in 7 days. We are talking about real, simple, but extremely powerful adjustments, which, when applied with discipline, begin to transform your body from the inside out. And not just your body, but also your relationship with your sexuality, with your performance, your virility, your personal power. It all starts with something fundamental and neglected by many: movement. The first and most urgent thing you need to do is stimulate your circulatory system. And it doesn't have to be heavy training or a gym full of equipment. If you start with 30 minutes of daily walking, every day, you'll already be doing more for your penile health than most sedentary men do in years. When you walk, you activate the muscles in the lower region of the body, stimulate the pumping of blood to the pelvic region, improve tissue oxygenation, and give a clear message to your body. I want to live. I want to function. I want power. This simple movement has a direct impact on the quality of erections, the recovery of penis size, testosterone production, and general disposition. And if you can include a few minutes of stretching and deep breathing, even better. Because when your body relaxes, blood flows, and when blood flows, the penis responds. In addition to walking, there is a set of exercises that few men know about, but which are a real key to restoring the penile base and improving sexual performance. Kegel exercises. They activate the muscles of the perineum, the one between the testicles and the anus, responsible for sustaining the erection, controlling ejaculation, and ensuring that the penis has a muscular base to maintain firmness and potency. Men who practice Kegel regularly report improvements in the intensity of erections, control during sex, ejaculation strength, and even an increase in penile rigidity, both at rest and during erection. And the execution is simple. Contract your muscles as if you were holding the P midstream. Hold for a few seconds and release. Do this in series, every day, with focus, breathing, and intention. In a few weeks, you will start to notice a difference. Don't underestimate this exercise. It looks simple, but it acts directly on the center of your virility. But it's no use just moving your body and forgetting what you put in. Yours food is the fuel for your power. If you continue to eat inflammatory foods, rich in sugar, refined flour, industrialized vegetable oils, fried foods, sausages, excessive alcoholic beverages, and zero live, natural and functional foods, you are putting poison directly into your circulation. And if your circulation suffers, your penis pays the price. The basis of your diet needs to be anti-inflammatory. This means fresh vegetables, dark green leaves, fruits rich in antioxidants, seeds, oil seeds, quality proteins, foods rich in zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D. All of this stimulates the production of testosterone naturally, improves the sensitivity of the penile nerves, and restores the shine of the skin, the firmness of the touch, and the strength of the erection. Speaking of testosterone, you can't talk about male potency without talking about this hormone. And no, you don't need to rush to artificial replacement right away. In 90% of cases, nature gives you everything you need to stimulate the internal production of testosterone. What you need to do is get rid of everything that is blocking this process. Poor sleep, chronic stress, poor diet, sedentary lifestyle, excessive pornography, and mindless masturbation drain your energy and lower your hormone levels. But when you combine quality sleep, clean eating, exposure to sunlight in the morning, light physical activity, and deep breathing, the body responds. He understands that he needs to produce more testosterone again because now you are living how a man should live, with movement, purpose, clarity, and connection with your own body. And lastly, but extremely important, is the reduction of abdominal fat. You already understand that when fat accumulates in the belly area, it visually compresses the penis, hiding part of its base. And it's not just visual. This affects your circulation, your hormonal function, your posture, and the way you see yourself. When you start to lose this fat, even if little by little, the body starts to release the hidden penile base. Many men report after losing 5 to 10 kilos of abdominal fat that they felt their penis enlarge, but in fact, it didn't increase. He just showed up. It was hidden, covered up by layers of fat that were also covering up his strength, his power, his self-esteem. And you can release all of this with clean eating, simple exercise, and a new relationship with your body. Now I want to know, are you willing to take this step? Are you ready to break out of stagnation and regain the power that is rightfully yours? If so, comment below on the phrase, "I want to see myself strong again." This is more than a comment. It's a decision. It's your way of telling yourself that you will no longer accept living halfway, who understands that the penis is a reflection of the man as a whole, and that you want to reverse this process with awareness, with attitude, with intelligence. If you stayed until the end of this video, it already shows that you are a different man than most. A guy who cares about his own health, who doesn't accept getting older and losing power, and who is willing to do whatever it takes to regain your vitality, your strength, and your confidence. And that's why I want to make 3 quick and direct invitations to you now. First, subscribe to the channel right now. Here you will have access to weekly content about prostate health, testosterone, erections, performance, male nutrition, and all the habits that strengthen or destroy your virility. So click on subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss anything. Second, if this video made sense to you, leave a like. This shows that this content helped you, enlightened you, and also helps this video reach other men who desperately need to hear these truths. Third, comment below on the phrase, "I will take care of my power." Leave this on record because this phrase is your commitment to yourself. It is your decision to get out of stagnation and regain control of your body, your energy, and your masculinity. And to close with a flourish, now click on the next video that appears on the screen. In it, I will show you what they are, the 3 daily habits that are silently killing your erection, and what you can do from today to protect your power. Don't lose. Click now and let's continue on this journey together. See you there.